Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Nahum Yehoshua. I'm a chief economist in the Fuel and Gas Administration in the Ministry of National Infrastructure, Energy and Water. It was first National Infrastructure, then it was changed to Energy and Water, and recently it was changed again to National Infrastructure, Energy and Water, that everybody will be happy and no one will be insulted. I'm going to speak today about the Fuel and Gas Administration statistic operation only. I will not talk about all other operations, statistical operations of the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of National Infrastructure, Energy and Water. The ministry, in initials, that's right. When I say, well, in brief word, Ministry of National Infrastructure, Energy and Water includes the Fuel and Gas Administration. It includes the Natural Gas Authority, which deals with natural gas, the Electricity Administration, and Unit of Economic and Planning, and have I forgotten someone?
Yeah, and natural resources.
And the natural resources, of course. The Natural Resources Unit, which deals with all the drilling and searching and exploration of oil and gas.
And also energy conservation.
And of course, energy conservation, which deals with, as said, energy conservation, it's mainly in the electricity sector. Fuel and Gas Administration is the gas in the Fuel and Gas Administration means LPG, because there's no overlapping with the Natural Gas Authority. And what are the areas of responsibility of the Fuel and Gas Administration? It's responsible of all fuels and LPG along the whole supply chain, regulates fuel prices and promote competition. I will expand on the prices sector in a minute. Advises on and inspect the quality of fuel products marketed in Israel. Involved in law enforcement operations against pirate gas stations, and responsible for managing strategic fuel inventory and participates in emergency and economical management. These are, in a nutshell, all our areas of responsibility and fields of operation. Of course, you can break down this into many other activities. In the field of statistical and information that we are responsible, primarily, may I add that all of these operations is actually responsible by Marina Mogerman, which is here, and she's the one to give credit for all the hard work that's done. The main statistical operation that are being operated in the administration is the monthly report publication of the fuel consumption in Israel. Sure, we will see that in a minute. It is directed to, or the customers of this publication is, of course, the CBS, and, of course, the private sector, the business sector, the research and everything, in other sectors, and other public sectors. For instance, Bank of Israel, when he wants to know what are the tendencies of the Israeli market, or where the economy goes, the first indication that he opens is this publication that gives a very immediate response to tendencies in changes in the macroeconomics circulations. So that's what we know, because all other indications have a bit of a lag. This is something that is collected, is published on a monthly basis and gives a very good indication, or maybe the first indication to any changes in that tendencies. Publication of the list of gas stations in Israel. This is part of our regulation to give the public information about what gas stations are licensed and permitted and what gas stations are not, because of the phenomenon of pirate gas stations. Reports of import and export of crude oil and its product in Israel. This is something that mainly is directed to the CBS and not to the public sector, or not to the wide public. And publication of prices of regulated and non-regulated fuel products and LPG. Other activities that are not reflected in publication entirely: the fuel consumption by fuel companies and distribution terminals. This is, of course, not published because of secrecy and of commercial secrecy. Crude oil imports by source. This is also not of a secrecy, but sometimes the information may be sensitive. Fuel imports by source. Fuel exports by destination country, and fuels inventories, which is part of the very important part of the responsibilities of the Fuel and Gas Administration regarding all the inventories, the operational and strategic, which is the Fuel and Gas Administration is actually responsible for them to have. So, statistical activities and purpose. This is the drill down into the fuel consumption. As said before, this is the public sector and private sector and the statistical unit, the CBS. The source of information is directly from the oil refineries, 2 oil refineries in Israel, distribution terminals, utility companies, and the gas distributors. Just for saying, there are 2 refineries, about 30 more, give or take, fuel companies which are listed. For the 4 major ones, Delek, Sonol, Paz, and Dor, and another about 25 which are more medium size and small. And there are about 30 LPG distributors. Again, we have the 4 big ones, Paz Gas, Supergas, Dor Gas, and Misr Gas, and we have another 25 medium and small size. And these are the main providers of the information that we have. This is an example of the fuel and gas consumption report. This is monthly reported, and we have, this is an annual, but we have, of course, maybe we should have brought a monthly report. But on a monthly basis, we have the monthly and the cumulative. Very, very convenient to see. And we have all the, it is break down into, for instance, in the all the derivatives which are separated for the, let's see, for instance, in the kerosene, in the diesel oil, we have diesel oil, we have heating gas oil, and and we have diesel oil for transport, heating gas oil for general purposes, and heating gas oil for electricity generation, and the gas oil for marine bunkers. This is the breakdown that we have here. And this is the tendency that we can see out from the consumption report. we can see in a very clear way the going down of the liquid fuels to electricity generation, and the coming up of it in the 2012, where we had the crisis of natural gas, that there was a shutdown of the pipeline of the natural gas from Egypt. And if we look at 2013, I think we will see a drop in this specific derivative consumption. This is consumption of transportation fuels and vehicles and vehicle numbers. We can see the tendency and the correlation. Others activities that we were talking about, import and export of crude oil. Also, as we said before, quantitative and financial data on imports and export of crude oil and its products. Fuel Administration does not publish the report but transmits the data to the CBS. The sources of information are the customs, the refineries, and the oil companies. Here we can see the crude oil imports and the cost. We can see the crisis of 2008 very clearly. Regarding prices, until 2006, all the prices of all the derivatives along all the supply chain outside of the refinery, in the station, every part of the chain had a price regulation for all products and for all sections. After the reform, after the refineries were separated and privatized, a change was held in this area, and what happened that we are now regulating mainly only on the price of a motor gasoline in the station. And the actual section which is actually regulated according to standard price regulation is the marketing of the companies, of the distribution companies, and the price outside of the refinery is set according to Platts quotations. Platts is the company that actually collects prices from bargains around the areas in the world and collects the actual bargain prices and give it as an information. We actually quote that prices, and this is the price that is reflected in the we can see that here. That's right. This is, we can see that there is the price of the CIF Mediterranean Western. This is the Platts quotation, and we have this is the price of a 95 octane petrol and gas station. We have, well, I should start with the biggest part, which is, of course, the excise duty. But we have the price of this is the crude, the distillate as it reflected as the CIF price, and this is the marketing expenses, this right here, and the VAT here. So this is how it is built. But although the price is actually regulated only the motor gasoline 95, and as you know, we have something of 20 derivatives and distillates that, or products that have prices, we still calculate those prices and exhibit them as, we call it theoretical prices, which is prices that we calculated as the way they were regulated before, but now they are not regulated, they are just presented to the public, but not but are not mandatory, of course, because they are not regulated by law. This is the development of the price, the petrol price, and the last thing that I want to talk about is the list of public gas stations. The Ministry of Energy and Water Resources. We are not involved in the planning and construction, and that's all our responsibilities and authorities in the gasoline sector on the gasoline stations are quite limited until the new legislation is due to come. But we are in charge of the quality of the petrol outside of the in the station, and of course registering and publicizing the gas station which are permitted and the quality of the petrol that was examined in the annual test or annual inspections in the stations. Sources of information: the fuel companies or private entities, and that submits the construction permit of business license. These are the gas stations added each year, and the gas station in Israel as a cumulative number. Thank you very much.